Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. So this is part 2 of the video that I started earlier, talking to you about how we got sponsorship to remain in the UK. So in my last video, I stopped at when I had to leave the previous job and start the other job, the new job the next day with the NHS. So don't get me wrong, I've been working in the NHS for a year now. In fact, in a few days time, in 6 days, it will be 1 year exactly since I started that job from the time of recording this video. And boy, it has been a very eventful journey. It's not been a joke. You know, stories you hear about what people experience working in the NHS. I started experiencing mine from the first day, but this video is not to talk about what has gone wrong or what has gone well since I started the job, but maybe some snippets of that will come into the video. But it's basically just talk about how the sponsorship started, how we were able to get the sponsorship. At this point, when I started the job, we were considering different ways of how we would remain in the country. We're thinking about me starting a care job, which is something I absolutely did not want to do, something I absolutely kicked against. Not because working as a carer is bad or anything, but it's just not something I have a flair for. Other people are doing it and they're doing it really well, but for me it wasn't just something I was interested in, because previously I had worked as a support worker and that didn't go down too well. So yeah, I didn't want to do that again. Anyways, job started on the very first day I started the job. Mind you, remember I had already told the manager that I was going to get a post-study work visa for me to continue working the job. On that very first day, I spoke to her. I told her, yes, currently I'm on a student visa and it would expire in January. Can this NHS trust offer me sponsorship? To be honest, she didn't know much about it. But she told me to email the recruitment team and just ask them. So I emailed the recruitment team. I think the person who was in charge of visas and sponsorship was off work, maybe on leave. So she asked me to email another person, or she copied another person into... No, she didn't ask me because she was on leave. So when she returned from her leave, she copied in someone else to follow up. So I kept on following up, sending them emails, reminders. And then eventually they came back to me to say that that's actually something that they do. They sponsor people. And then they asked, do you have UK education? I was like, yes, I do. Can you prove that you have UK education? I'm like, why not? So I was in the office and my husband was at home because he was working from home. I told him to please scan my certificate and everything, all my credentials for my master's that I had just completed. He scanned them and sent to me, and I sent that to the recruitment team. But then they also needed a manager to approve the sponsorship before they would go ahead. And then the manager at the time was not my line manager, another manager. She came back to say, we're aware that you can actually go for the post-study work visa, so why do we need to sponsor you? And I was like, hey God, who is this person? I was like, hey, this is the temptation. This person wants to spoil this thing for me. I was just thinking to myself, like, where did this lady come from? Because the thing is that the recruitment team, they were very willing to go ahead with it. They saw no reason why I shouldn't get sponsorship. I mean, I have my UK education. I speak English. It's not a case of whether my English is bad or not. And I knew I was relatively new. I was about 1 month on the job, so they couldn't really say if I was very good at my job or not. But they hadn't seen any reason not to sponsor me. So it was now this lady inside the team that was bringing up objections. The truth is, many of them don't know much about sponsorship, so you have to explain to them. And I knew that as of April 2024, that very soon the salary threshold will not allow them to sponsor me. So I was on a band 3 at the time, and I was just thinking, like, this woman, please don't spoil it. I was praying to God. I called my family and friends. I sent them messages that, see, this is a very critical moment. Start praying, pray. Call my friends, told everybody, pray, like, this sponsorship needs to happen. And so the lady was trying her best to frustrate my efforts, and well, eventually I got an email to say that, yeah, we've agreed that we're going to sponsor you. So it's just a case of we're going to break it into two, so can sponsor you for the first 2 years and later renew it and sponsor you for the remaining 3 years. Or do you want us to do 3 years first or 2 years later? And I'm like, let's do 3 years, baby. Let's do this. And then eventually, yeah, they come after me to say, yeah, just submit all your documents and yeah, we would sponsor you. Because it wasn't a health and care visa, it's an admin role. So they were not going to cover visa fees or anything like that, IHS, nothing like that. So we still had to pay for IHS and visa fee, which we were very happy to pay, to be honest, because that was one heavy weight lifted from our shoulders. And I was just thinking, like, it has to be God. It can't be the strength or the power of any other human, because how do you start a job and 1 month into the job you get sponsored? Like literally 1 month. I was still in training. I was still in my whole probation phase. Like I was literally still in training and that sponsorship came through. So how else can you say that you've seen God's hand in events? At this point there, I'm just telling the story in a very jaga way, but till today I still get really amazed. Like I just think about it, like the whole salary threshold thing, the change was coming, like it was very, very close, and God came through, like Jehovah came through at the right time. It was literally 1 month to our visa expiry and God came through, and that's how we got our sponsorship, paid for the visa, paid for IHS. That payment, it shook us to our bone marrow, because how do you cough out? I think at the time what we paid was approximately £6,000 for the visa fees and the IHS, that's the immigration health surcharge. In fact, when it comes to things like this, you'd be shocked that you can even cough out the amount of money. You'd be asking yourself, like, normal, I would just be like, if you shake me upside down, shake me, you will not even see £6,000. So where did that money come out from? Like, and we knew like we had to like pay, like action it right away, and God provided that money just came out and we're able to do it. So yeah, I'm telling the story and I'm just thinking back, and it's bringing memories, like it's bringing memories back, like wow, that actually happened. And to think that it's been almost a year since we did that. So talking about the sponsorship of 5 years, we're like a year into it. We have 4 years to go. We're still going strong. Thankful to God. It was such a journey. Now, talking about the pros and cons of working in the NHS. I mean, I still work in the NHS. I would say I have learned a lot, especially when it comes to dealing with people, because you meet different kinds of people in the workplace, and oh boy, they will try you, they will test your patience, and you just be thinking like, to say I did Nigeria my country, I have to treat this person. But yeah, I've met different people. You know, the work culture in Nigeria is way different from the work culture we have here. Here you can see people smiling with you, being very polite to you, but they actually don't like you. And anyway, let's not do this. Well, this video was just basically to tell you about the process of how we got sponsored and how, yes, we are on a skilled worker visa in the UK, and it's been going well. Everything has been going well. There have been ups and downs, but yeah, the good days and the bad days, but yeah, God came through for us, and that's how we got sponsored. And I think this is where I would end this video, because I'm already exhausted. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't take too long before I come on here again to update you on what has been happening. So just so you know, I still do my CV writing, cover letter writing. I write NHS supporting statements for people. What else do I do? LinkedIn optimization, all of that good stuff. I still do that on the side. My delivery timeline has extended a bit because of my full-time job, but yes, I still do all those things. So if these are services that you require, please send me a message, send me a DM. I will leave my contact details on the screen so that you can contact me. On LinkedIn, my name is Chidimma. On TikTok, what's my name? I think I'm Dimma on TikTok. I'll put all that information on the screen. Instagram, Dimma, still very much accessible if you need all those services. And I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye.